Dear colleagues, my name is Claire McGuire. I'm a Policy and Research Officer at the International Federation of Library Associations and Institutions, IFLA. I'm speaking on behalf of Gerald Leitner, the Secretary General of IFLA and our organization's representative on the board of Blue Shield International. Culture is a basic need. A community thrives through its cultural heritage. It dies without it. This belief is at the heart of IFLA's Cultural Heritage Core program, in which we work to empower the global library field to further accessibility, protection, and preservation of documentary heritage. Libraries are guardians of the memory of the world, safeguarding this documentary heritage property and enabling people to enjoy, learn, and be inspired by it. Therefore, IFLA works to advocate for meaningful and supportive provisions of cultural heritage policy and to raise awareness of the importance of preservation and access. A critical element of the enduring accessibility and preservation of cultural heritage is preparing for and responding to disasters, improving preparedness measures, and coordinating response. Our cultural heritage faces a multitude of hazards, including from armed conflict and an ever-growing range of risk associated with climate change. Therefore, engaging in disaster risk reduction, response, and recovery is an undertaking that memory institutions cannot ignore. Networks like Blue Shield International provide a focal point for efforts to raise national awareness of threats to cultural heritage, as well as an international forum to improve emergency preparedness by sharing experiences and exchanging information. The involvement of IFLA at the international level, as well as key library stakeholders at the national level, is a valuable way to connect cultural heritage experts and other stakeholders to build collective capacity to safeguard and protect our memory. In this presentation, I will introduce IFLA, our vision and mission, and how we've been involved in strengthening the ability of libraries to recognize and respond to threats to their institutions and the collections they safeguard. IFLA is the global voice of libraries. We represent over 1,400 members from over 150 countries in all regions, and work together with a large network of dedicated volunteers. We work both to help libraries around the world provide the best possible service to users and to advocate for the policies and laws that will facilitate this work. We envision a strong and united global library field powering literate, informed, and participatory societies. The preservation of the world's cultural heritage and support for the institutions, individuals, and processes that make it accessible is vital to creating these societies. We work to achieve this vision through our mission to inspire, engage, enable, and connect the global library field. In terms of how we relate our mission to cultural heritage, we strive to bring together those professionals working in libraries on preservation and access, enabling professional exchange and knowledge sharing, and making space to voice the concerns and needs of professionals working to safeguard cultural heritage. We look to our network for stories and inspiration from their experience that will help power advocacy for the development and implementation of supportive cultural heritage policy. IFLA's network consists of a strong community of members and experts driving forward preservation practice through exchange, research, standards development, and learning opportunities. One important aspect of our network is IFLA's Preservation and Conservation PAC centers. These centers, hosted in libraries around the world, are hubs of knowledge in their regions and assist IFLA in monitoring and responding to potential threats. We also engage with a range of partners, such as UNESCO, with whom we collaborate in several areas, including close contact with the Memory of the World program, and of course, collaboration with the other founding members of Blue Shield, International Council on Archives, the International Council of Museums, and the International Council on Museums and Sites on the board of Blue Shield, as well as in other activities, is a vital aspect to connecting cultural heritage work in a library context to that of other memory institutions and sites. Documentary cultural heritage, such as books, manuscripts, and audiovisual material, is particularly vulnerable in disaster scenarios. It can be fragile and particularly susceptible to damage caused by fire, insects and pests, water, and humidity. It can be targeted in situations of armed conflict for ideological reasons, and can be easily stolen and difficult to identify when it is illegally trafficked across borders. Unfortunately, over the years, we have seen documentary heritage come under threat due to armed conflict and by other natural and human-caused disasters. In 2012, in response to turmoil in Syria and Mali, the 2010 Haiti earthquake, and the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami in Japan, IFLA developed our principles of engagement in library-related activities in times of conflict, crisis, or disaster. The principles aim to encourage safeguarding and respect for cultural property, especially by raising awareness and promoting disaster risk management, and to strengthen cooperation and participation in cultural heritage activities through UNESCO and Blue Shield initiatives and activities. We continue referencing this high-level document to guide our actions, such as monitoring areas at risk, advocating for and raising awareness about disaster prevention, and reacting to and engaging in particular recovery situations. Through our experience in responding to disasters, the critical need for information in early stages has become apparent. After disaster strikes, it becomes increasingly difficult to gather this information that can inform possible response and recovery efforts. Therefore, information gathering is a crucial step in preparedness. IFLA's Risk Register is an initiative that we continue to develop to help us respond quickly when disaster strikes and be better informed in our engagement with the international community in facilitating a response. The Risk Register is a confidential list of documentary heritage materials and collections and relevant accompanying information. We seek to use this tool to provide an additional contribution to efforts to manage risk to cultural heritage. When necessary and with permission from the relevant institution, IFLA could share this information on the register with partners such as UNESCO and Blue Shield International to inform response and recovery. Linked to information on the Risk Register itself, you will find a variety of tools prepared by IFLA's expert volunteers and partners, including the PAC centers, to assist in risk assessment and reduction. Building the capacity for libraries to create emergency disaster plans, inventory their own at-risk collections, and assess damage after disaster plays a vital role in building resilience. I encourage you to explore the currently available tools on IFLA's website. The pressing need to come together to safeguard the world's cultural heritage was acknowledged by the founding four organizations of the Blue Shield 25 years ago through the establishment of the International Committee of the Blue Shield, the predecessor of Blue Shield International. Now, the continuously expanding number of national committees of the Blue Shield increases the potential of this network. Your ability to understand and address threats to cultural heritage in a national and regional context is an invaluable resource to safeguarding cultural property. We encourage all those working in national committees now or interested in taking part in the future to actively exchange with your colleagues in the library fields. Involve your National Library Association and individual libraries in your initiatives. Find out what they are already doing to safeguard the cultural property in their collections. To library professionals, we encourage you to strengthen your partnership with fellow cultural heritage professionals working in other memory and heritage institutions and sites. Reinforcing ties across the heritage field will only work to build collective capacity and strengthen our voices when we call for cultural property protection commitments to be upheld. I will close by reiterating the opening message that culture is a basic need. Communities need access to their cultural heritage to build resilience, to thrive. Cultural heritage connects us to one another. It creates a shared memory of the world that we must ensure remains accessible for future generations. Through involvement in Blue Shield, we can combine our experience and knowledge in our specific areas of competency to advocate for policy and actions to protect cultural property and to respond to threats with the support of a global network. Thank you for your attention. You can find out more about IFLA on our website, www.ifla.org, or by reaching out to me at claire.mcguire@ifla.org. Thank you very much.